Okay guys, so I've made it to the Triumph stand. I'm run by the 400 Scram, as you can see behind me. And I'm with Devon. Devon? Yep.
That's it.
Okay, bro. So Devon's been kind enough, and we're going to go like this. There's Devon. So, how are you finding the show this year?
The show's been amazing this year. I mean, as you can see, looking at the stand, we're getting a lot of people across the stand, and pleasingly, I think a lot of new people as well. The range has expanded a little bit now. We're definitely seeing some new faces coming into the brand, which was what that was all about, really.
Totally. I mean, I'm a Triumph rider myself, and I started on a 650 Interceptor because I didn't want to go straight to the 1200s. So it fills me with joy to see that you brought out a 400 range. Is that Triumph's way of really targeting that market and going against the Enfields of the world, which price point wise meant that some people wouldn't go straight to a Triumph?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much about giving an entry point into the brand that is a bit more accessible to a wider range of riders. And we're seeing that already. We're seeing some younger riders. We're seeing riders who are coming back down the range. Right. It's really got a broad appeal, and it's a nice accessible base to get into the brand. And then hopefully from there, once people have got a taste for it, we can see what's next. We've got the 900s and the 1200s, so there's plenty of scope for the future once people have come and join the brand. Well,
I mean, you can see it's absolutely rammed here, and I guess that the enthusiasm for a 400 is just obvious.
Yeah.
We've come out of pandemic, and I think myself, I'm a post-pandemic rider as well.
Yeah.
You must have seen like a real boom of interest of people getting onto bikes now and thinking to themselves, what am I waiting for now?
Yeah, I think COVID was a really fascinating time for the motorcycle industry. Obviously, dealerships closed for a time, which was tough.
Yeah.
But actually, people wanted to start to travel differently. People were looking for different leisure at home. And I think motorcycles have come back into vogue for lots of different reasons, really. Yeah. Mental health benefits as well. So there's a whole host of reasons why people are riding now.
Yeah.
And we're definitely seeing that in a market that's been in surprisingly good health, I think, given everything that we've got going on in the world.
Oh, totally.
People are still enjoying motorcycling as an escape and a way to enjoy themselves and a way to socialise and be part of the community. So it's really good.
I mean, I'm blown away by the size of the whole centre, but your stall is absolutely amazing, going through all the range of your sports bikes, your classics, your adventure style bikes as well. But going on to the 400, the styling is just absolutely beautiful. But at the same time, although it's a Scram and it's a speed twin, it's got its own identity. You've done it very, very well, to be fair.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I mean, I think it was absolutely key to us that the bikes had all of that Triumph DNA that people who love the brand expect. Yeah. So I think the great thing about them is you put them in a lineup in amongst the range, and you can see the heritage, you can see the DNA running through. It's clearly a Triumph, it's clearly part of the family, but it's also its own thing as well. Right. I think it's a slightly more modern take on classic, and I think that is a recognition of probably where the market is and who we think the customer is for this bike. So a little bit more playful, but while still very much being a Triumph at its heart.
Well, I'm going to actually ask it. I've got a friend that rides a Bobber, absolutely loves it. It's an iconic bike. And he went, you've got to ask him, please bring out a 400 Bobber. So I'm sure you can't confirm that or something, but do you think it would be something that, if you have a look at the Meteor 650, that you could theoretically extend the range of 400 bikes?
Yeah. I mean,
right on the thing there.
The stock answer is obviously I can only talk about the bikes that are here today, but I think clearly there's potential with this platform to take it in different directions, and I think we'll absolutely see how we get on with these first two models and what we think the market wants, and I'm sure we'll evolve from there, but that's as much as I can say today.
It's a pretty good answer, to be fair. So, I mean, what I was looking at is obviously how you've trimmed the Bonnie family down, and quite rightly, actually, it looks neater the way that you've done it. You've changed it from a street twin to a speed twin 900. That works well. You've got the Bonnie, but obviously some people are going, oh, we're losing the Thruxton. There's got to be a particularly good reason for that, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, the Bonneville family is an amazing family of bikes, but it's got quite wide over time. And obviously, we look at sales trends and how things the market's developing. The Thruxton has been an absolute amazing bike for us. It's an icon. It's stunning. It's great to ride. And when we launched it back in 2015, the sales were really impressive for a good few years. Yeah. But things evolve, and they've tapered down. And people, I think, have migrated towards the Speed Twin 1200. For a lot of customers, it offers that performance element in a slightly more accessible package. So I think the market started to move in that direction, and I think the time is just right to recognise that and go out on a high with what has been an absolute phenomenal bike for us.
Like I said, I mean, my first big boy bike was, I'll be honest, was Royal Enfield, but there's nothing better than the first time you actually put your legs over top of a Triumph, start the engine, and you just know the quality is there the second, and it's just like, that's your forever bike. I don't think you ever kind of go away from what you find comfortable for. I'm going to actually ask you, I'm kind of curious, what's your bike? What do you go and ride on a weekend? What is your go-to?
Well, it's interesting you say that. In the role that I do, I'm blessed to get to ride all of the right bikes in the range. It makes it difficult.
Yeah.
I have owned a Thruxton. I'm a big fan of that bike, so
Sure.
it's a little bit tearful for me as well.
Right.
But generally speaking, these days, I find myself either on a Tiger 1200 or a Street Triple RS.
Wow, okay.
So I like the Tiger 12 for the big mileage stuff.
Sure.
It's just great, particularly the big tank, long range version.
Yeah.
If you're doing quite a few miles, that
Comfy
really,
seating position as well, like an armchair.
absolutely. But I think for all round fun, for me, the Street Triple RS is the one. It's a great bike, but that suits my lifestyle at the moment. And as life changes, your bike changes. I think sometimes.
Oh no, totally agree. I think when I got onto a Mongrel 125, I just knew. I always thought I'd be a Harley Bobber kind of guy. Yeah. But I think as soon as you get onto a certain bike and you sit on it and you know that, oh, that's my style. And I think sometimes it can be clothing as well. Like, that suits your style. A bike suits your style as a person or whatever it is, and it fits into it. So, and I think you guys just have it completely covered. It's absolutely amazing. I was going to get you as well, if I can, to just give me a show around the 400, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No problem. So what we've got over on my left is the Scrambler 400X, which is the slightly larger of the two models in terms of its physical proportions. It's got a seat height that it's a little bit taller, at sort of 835 mil versus the Speed 400, which is 790. So really what that means is the bike's quite a grown-up bike, although it's got a single-cylinder engine and it's 400cc. Not necessarily everybody wants a small bike physically, and that's something that we've picked up on. So it's really well proportioned. It looks fantastic. You can see it's got that Triumph DNA running all the way through, from things like the engine profile, the headers on the top of the cylinder head, the exhaust fins. It's got all of those Triumph styling cues that you would expect. Obviously, in a Scrambler package, which is quite interesting. That's making people think, I think, in different ways. We've been talking to some of the light trail guys, they're interested. It's definitely one for people who really enjoy that Scrambler style. Just want something that's in a package that's a bit more user-friendly and a bit more accessible.